Hello everyone, this is Lance. This is Mahjong Tips 19. Today I will be talking about something called the same tile switch. What do I mean by this is, for example, you are already Ting Pai, you have melded twice. In this case, you are waiting 一四筒. Then you draw an extra 二筒. Okay, so there are two types of players in this case. One is the type that they will always throw away the extra tile that they drew, so the 二筒 that they just drew, they'll just throw it away. There's another type of player who, when they encounter this situation, they will always switch out. They will do this same tile switch where they put in this 二筒 that they just drew and throw out the 二筒 that was already in their hand. Okay, so what should be the correct move in this case? Okay, so before I explain this, I need to do a quick recap from Mahjong Tips 18, basic weight reading. Okay, so in that video, I said that the order of these cards, right, normally people will start throwing the tiles that are irrelevant to their hand, very far away, cannot connect, followed by the back vein. Back vein something like 1, 3, 4. So if you have 1, 3, it's a Kalong, right? You draw 4, it will become two-sided, so you throw the 1 away. Okay? If it's 1, 3, 4, the 1 is no longer useful. Same for like 2, 4, 5, and so on. Okay? Then the last things that will come out from your hand are the connected tiles. Tiles that are linked to your final weight or before the sets are completed. So there's a very high chance that the last thing that comes out of someone's hand is linked to his or her final weight. Okay, so keep that in mind. So back to the example. So in this case, should you throw the 二筒 that you just drew, or should you take out the 二筒 from inside your hand? Okay, so if you take the 二筒 that's from your hand, then people who are using the basic weight reading, right, they will suspect that you're waiting in the area, which means 一四筒. So they can actually straight away tell what you're waiting. They can guess what you're waiting. So compare this to if you just throw away the 二筒 that you just drew. This doesn't give off extra information because you draw a tile and throw. That means you don't need it, what? So if you don't need it, then how can it be linked to the rest of your hand? So in this case, you should not do the same tile switch. If you switch and discard the 二筒 from inside your hand, people will suspect you're waiting in the area, mainly 一四筒. So take the 二筒 that you just drew, draw it, throw away. Okay? And that will not give off extra information to the opponents. Whatever you do, right, whether you throw from inside your hand or you throw the tile that you just drew, it will not change your weight, but it will change the perception of your opponents towards your hand. Okay, what if I change the tile that you just drew? Let's say after you throw the 二筒, next tile you draw 三锁. Should you perform the same tile switch or not? Okay, so in this case, doing the same tile switch will confuse your opponents. Let's say you draw the 三锁, then before you put in this 三锁, right, take the 三锁 from inside your hand, and when you take out this 三锁, you will leave a hole in the middle of your hand, right? Okay, take the 三锁 out and discard it, then people will be like, hey, this 三锁is suspicious, it's coming out from his hand quite late, so maybe he's waiting in the area either 一四锁 or 二五锁. Then that would be their perception, but to you, you are secretly laughing because you have already completed the 锁子 set. You are not even waiting in the 锁子 area. You are waiting 筒子. But while they are busy thinking about the 锁子 side, right, then they won't be wary of discarding the 筒子 for you to win. Okay, so in this case, you should perform the same tile switch. Okay, so basically the conclusion from this, right, would be you perform the same tile switch if you draw a set that is already completed. Okay, then you'll confuse your opponents, they will think that, you are waiting in the area, but you're not. Okay, but if you draw something that is connected to your weight, right, then don't perform the same tile switch because it's just giving off extra information to the opponents. Okay, now this scenario is like closer later in the game, closer to where people are mostly Ting Pai already. If it's early game, then nobody will be paying attention to your hand in the first place. Okay, then let me make the example a bit more complicated. So let's say you have melded twice, okay, and it's quite late in the game already. Now the thing is that you happen to not draw any extra 筒子, so people think that you are building a 童子 panzer, but you're not. Okay, you just happen to not have 童子 to throw. Okay, while people are suspecting that you're waiting 童子 because you're doing panzer, right? Okay, you're actually waiting 141 in this case. So if you draw an extra password, should you perform the same tile switch or not? Okay, so in this case, you should just throw away the password and mislead them into thinking that, oh, you are still doing 童子, because if you take out a password from inside your hand, then people have this perception that, hey, it's not actually 童子, then they will guard as per normal, then they won't just be concerned about the 童子 suit, they'll be wary of all the suits. So don't perform the same tile switch in this case. Okay, just discard the password, the extra password that you drew, and let them think that it's still 童子. Okay, what if you draw an extra 酒桶? Then you should switch out the 酒桶 from your hand. Okay, keep the extra 酒桶 that you drew. Okay, why? Because if you take out a 酒桶 from your hand, it doesn't spoil the perception that of other players towards you that you are building a 童子 hand. Okay, so they will continue to guard the 童子 and they will not be wary of your weight in the other suits. Okay. Okay, so that's all for this video. It's quite short, but I hope you learned something. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye.